The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. A game released in October of 2000. It is one of the most highly coveted of the Zelda games. And of course, with good reason. It's a fantastic game. You have great storytelling, great music, great characters, all while it's still running on the N64. So you might be asking yourself, Vintage, what are your thoughts on Majora's Mask? Well, I love the game. It's probably one of my favorite Zeldas in the series. I have a very strenuous relationship with the Zelda series. Like, the game's prequel, Ocarina of Time, I like it. It's not the greatest. I'm not going to lie. It's boring. It gets tedious after a while. And a lot of people are like, oh, Vintage, how could you say that? It's one of the greatest Zelda games of all time. And then I say, I don't see it. I find Majora's Mask really fun and, like, just so much better than Ocarina of Time in every way, shape, and form. And I might do a comparison of the two while I'm here. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what makes Majora's Mask an awesome experience and why you guys should go play it if you haven't already. So here we go. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask's music is probably one of the biggest points of this game that makes it so goddamn good. Like, it has that perfect feel of whimsical nature that you need within a Zelda game. It's an adventure. You are supposed to have fun. However, it also has that sense of dread that, yeah, you have 3 days before the land's destroyed, and it's game over. And you are officially dead. I'll get more onto the topic of death later. But it's no wonder why this game's music is fantastic. It has the same composer, and it's Koji Kondo and Toru Mingishi. Those two are fantastic within the Zelda music writing. I just adore the soundtrack. So, that's the music aspect of the game, why it's so freaking good. But you probably don't want to hear me ramble about music forever. You probably want to hear me ramble about some of the themes and the plot. So here's the plot for you. The story of Majora's Mask is not a complicated one. You lose your ocarina in the beginning to Skull Kid, who ambushes you in the woods on your search for Navi. And then you are transported to Termina, this game's version of Hyrule. It's all twisted and warped. It's a much more darker and sadistic version of the realm that you traveled in the last game. And in the beginning, you're trapped in a Deku Scrub's body, trying to heal yourself. And eventually you get out and you have to begin your journey to save the land of Termina from utter destruction from Skull Kid's evil ways, from the mask that he's wearing. It's Majora's Mask that's controlling him. Another reason why the story is so good is that it also plays on a pretty dark theme for a game that's rated E for everyone. The game's other theme is it's okay to move on. The game plays on the Kubler-Ross model of grief. If you guys don't know what that is, it's denial, anger, acceptance, grief, and bargaining. Not in that order. I screwed it up. If you guys haven't watched, this came out a long time ago. Matt Pat and the Peanut Butter Gamers theory on why Termina is a representation of Link being dead. It's a pretty dark theory, and it's not a really happy theme for a kid's game, but I find it fun and interesting that they decided to do that, because it lets kids learn that grieving is okay. And I think more kids games should try to show that losing someone doesn't mean it's gonna hurt forever. You should learn the stages of grief young. And if a game that's rated E for everyone does it, I feel like other games could do it. Surely Ocarina of Time can't do that. Screw that game. But Majora's Mask does it perfectly. The four areas, they play on the stage of grief in that area perfectly. The swamp represents anger and trying to get retribution for the loss of a princess. The king is ready to decapitate a monkey who had nothing to do with it. In the snowy peaks, the Gordon, I don't know how you say it, pleads with you. He wants you to try and bring him back to life. He has a family to return to, and he wants you to do it. That's the bargaining stage. He's trying to do anything to return back to his clan and his family. But at the end of the day, you can't bring back the dead. There is no bargaining with death. And then you have the what are they called? The fish people. Zora. The Zora people. Where one of the Zoras comes on shore and dies in front of you. It's grim. You see a live death in the game. And the whole area seems depressing. For a beach type area where, usually it's like, rays of fun, dude, it's depressing. It's sad to be around that area because everyone knows he's dead and that you are not him whenever you put on that mask. And then in the Gerudo Valley of the game, I don't remember what it's called, you go through a land of death. It's mummies, decapitated hands, the Wall Masters, which, by the way, creepiest enemy of Zelda to me. I don't like them. They creep me the hell out. But you see these characters, and literally, the dungeon of the area, you ascend to the heavens. It's like you are accepting your fate as Link being dead. And you make statues of the masks that you make with one of the songs, and it shows perfectly that this essence of death within the game. It's such a beautiful game to explain the 5 stages. I'm the Denial. The center town, Termina itself, the people are in denial. They are going about their business like the end of the world isn't within just 3 days. And it's sad, really, because they keep working on a festival that they're not going to see until you win the game. It's reversing time until you can save the town. And I find the concept of it really interesting. I love Majora's Mask. It's one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. And for good reason. Its theme, so strong, so powerful. It should be replicated more in more children's games. You should learn about death early. I think that's a big proponent of some psychology that you should learn about early on. I have the game cartridge. I love owning this thing because it's one of my prized possessions. I usually display it up in the N64 up there while I'm recording. But Majora's Mask is timeless. I think if you guys haven't played it, try and find a way to play it. It was re-released on 3DS a few while ago, so try and find it at a local video game store. If you can't, emulators exist for a reason. So, with all that being said, I think we're done here. It's a short review. I'm not really good with reviews, but I like doing them because I like to yamble, yap and ramble together. But I want you guys to know, Ocarina of Time, just one of the greatest. So if you like this content and you like hearing my thoughts and hear me ramble on about things that I think are cool about the game and the themes, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. And, of course, I've been your Vintage Stick. Bye-bye.